Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Singh Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
Understanding our reaction to Harvey and other disasters that impact all of us, and professional women mentoring others, building a more diversified workforce in the cities. In a moment, the program that is creating a strong support system to help women advance in the workplace. But first, we're physically hundreds of miles away from the hurricane disaster zone, but only mere inches away from our computer, our phones, and our television sets. It helps make such disasters much more personal. And while that can be good to build a shared experience, a sense of empathy, a desire to help, it can also take its toll on our emotions, our sense of hopelessness, or even foreboding. And joining us is Dr. Lloyd Kilmer with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and you've seen this time and time again. How do we cope with a burden that really doesn't directly impact us, but still is there in our psyche because it's in our society?
Sure. NAMI is a family support system, so it is designed to deliver services to family members who cope with a whole number of different kinds of challenges. And as volunteers, as volunteer teachers and volunteers, we're part of the network then that works with those families directly. We're not healthcare professionals, we're not counselors. We're just those who have experienced some kind of background that allows to empathize with their situation and help direct them to the right resources and really hear their stories and let them have an opportunity to tell what their experiences have been and the challenges they face.
And is that the key thing? I mean, just to open up to talk about those experiences?
I think it's part of it. You know, with any kind of disaster that an individual experiences or has a family member, extended family member who experiences, let's say in the Houston area, there's going to be impact on how they deal with the news that comes their way. And as you said, it's 24/7. And there's really no opportunity to kind of process that. So what is it like to be in a community where there's no power and there's floods and there are snakes and there are all the challenges that come with a natural disaster? How does that make us feel? And how do we show the right kind of response to that situation when we're in the public with our families and with others?
And let's be honest, there are some personalities, there are some people where this heavy burden affects them much more severely than other people.
Sure, yeah, just like any other variance in the human psyche. I had an experience in 2013 where we hit with a tornado in Washington, Illinois. Had a class of 8 students. We met in a elementary school. It was pretty much a direct hit, and we spent 5 hours doing triage in the neighborhood until the National Guard got there. Now, of those individuals in class, there were a couple of ladies that were in the class who were from North Carolina, had never experienced anything like a tornado, and really had trouble with it for several years after that, just processing how dangerous it was and how sudden it was, and kind of the response of people in the neighborhood that we were trying to help after that disaster. Some of the rest of us, when you grow up in Nebraska, for instance, it's almost like, okay, here's another one. Now, you don't get hit every time, but there's still that kind of repetitive thing. You kind of know what that experience is going to be like. Well,
and living through that, and the fact that Washington, Illinois took such a direct hit, and to be in the center of that, I would assume as far as the person is concerned, I mean, it's adrenaline first.
Sure.
And then, I mean, there's other phases that you go through in a natural progression, is there not?
Exactly. So we kind of sprung into action, all being high school or elementary administrators. We set up what was left of the gym with bottled water. We duct taped a few wounds. We got in the neighborhood. Some of the younger guys went into some of the housing units to help people out. But we had pets to deal with, much like they have, which is a huge issue in Houston. You know, we were fashioning leashes out of extension cords and helping the critters to get into a place of safety, on top of escorting seniors, children, and adults into the schools so they could decompress from the initial shock. And they're all in shock. it kind of looks like some kind of apocalypse movie. They kind of wandering down the street looking for somebody, and there isn't anybody except for us. It was an opportunity to kind of direct them to safety and help them decompress until fire personnel and those folks got to that neighborhood.
And those are the people that are directly impacted, and you were in the middle of it. But I mean, how many tornadoes, like you said? I mean, neighborhoods get hit all the time. You may live on the other side of the city or another county, and it doesn't directly impact you.
Right, until you drive through there, or it's it's your parents' house that gets hit, and you have to go in and help them sort out. With the seniors, for instance, it's really difficult for them because they feel at risk all the time anyway. And there was that tragic picture from Harvey of the nursing home with the people in their wheelchairs, up to the wheelchair in water with no place to go and no one to help them, and just being totally helpless.
And that's what I wonder, because I mean, that's one of those things that would seem to impact so many different people, is just that sense of helplessness. I mean, you can't do anything. Whether you want to try to help and you can't do anything, or it's a disaster, it's so random it hits you and you can't do anything about that. I mean, how does one actually try to find help for that?
Well, I think if you're at a distance like we would be, it would be finding the right organization that you could say, okay, I can help with a financial contribution, or a school district that loads up, or an insurance agency loads up a truck full of products that people need right away. It's something you can do, and you can volunteer. You don't have to pack up and try to go to the disaster zone, but you're then doing something, you're contributing, you feel like you're part of the solution rather than just sitting idly by and watching what happens.
And watching what happens, is there a little bit of a danger of being so transfixed that you end up binge watching this and you almost live it for a period of time?
I would say probably if you're on Facebook or Twitter or any of the social media, you've gotten a pretty good dose of it over the last few days. So it is. It's like watching a train wreck. It's like, well, I see this, I wonder what it's like over here. And you keep interested in it because it's obviously a huge human story, but at the same time, you don't understand the logistics of what it takes to intervene. When you think of the Cajun Navy coming, these guys,
amazing people,
coming down, with their boats on the back of their pickups and jumping in the water and just going to help whoever they could find. It's just amazing.
Well, and that kind of transfer me over to another area that you are intimately involved in, and that is when you think of disasters, you don't necessarily think of wars, but wars bring back a lot of wounds, not only for the warrior, the servicemen and women, but also the families. And you have NAMI Homefront, which is a free multi-session event that helps families get through their struggles. Tell me a little bit about that, and who is it offered to?
Well, it is offered to any family member or person affiliated with a service member from any era, from World War II up to the Iraq-Afghanistan conflicts. And so it's an 6-week process where they get the opportunity with a trained individual, and I was trained in Ohio to offer this. The first time that Homefront's being offered in the Iowa, Western Illinois region, to address any of the kinds of things that come to the caregivers and the family members of a service member. And it could be post-traumatic stress disorder, it could be multiple kinds of mental health issues that come into play at various times. So one of the pieces of research is very interesting. It's called the second hit, that an individual may experience the combat or may experience a tragedy like a hurricane, but then it creates all sorts of difficulties for those who may have a tendency towards depression or other conditions. It quadruples the effect.
It really just triggers.
It triggers and then amplifies the kind of response. And so a military family member who's coming back from multiple deployments has been kind of piled on to a certain extent. And so when they get back, they may be able to process it fine for a while, but you never know when an issue will come up and it will create those feelings of anxiety and the responses that they don't like and the family members don't like. And so NAMI Homefront helps them understand what happens when you have traumatic brain injury, for instance, how to cope with it, what resources are available in our community to help address those issues. And most of all, it's giving them an opportunity to tell their story and to process it with others who know what they're going through.
Well, and I think it's also critically important is that you treat the families too. I mean,
Correct.
They have to understand it as well. I mean, there are treatment that is offered to the veteran. There is treatment for the serviceman and woman coming back. So oftentimes it's the family that's left trying to guess what's wrong, what's going on here, and how can we help so that our family survives.
Right. There's a real deficit for the caregivers. There's less than 10% of them get any kind of support whatsoever, financial or emotional, to deal with the challenges that come to them. And it could be short term, it could be long term.
Well, exactly, yeah. So if you're a family member and you're thinking, wait a second, there's something that's not quite right here, I mean, how do you access your services?
So you can call the NAMI office, the Missouri Valley office, and just say we're interested in the course. It will be offered at Western starting October the 4th, and is open to any family member, exes, spouses, children over 14, anyone that has. It could be even an employer who says, you know, I've got X number of veterans that are in my workforce. I want to understand more of what they've dealt with. So,
well, and let's be honest, you can take part in this even if you don't think you have a problem, because you may discover things that you did not realize.
Yeah, in the training, I discovered a lot of things that I wasn't aware of. So, and it kind of depends on the era too. My dad was a World War II combat veteran and a POW. That was a much different experience than the students I had when I taught at Western, who were coming back from multiple deployments in the Middle East. But the common thing is that they're very, very reticent to seek that kind of help.
Absolutely.
It's part of the military ethic of you can do it, tough it out.
Exactly. It's a sign of weakness.
You may be able to tough it out, but your wife and your children are not in a position to tough it out. So we're just trying to get out the word that we're offering the course, and we'd like to have 10 to 14 individuals to be part of it as a pilot, and hopefully it will be a real service to
help yourself,
our region.
but you're also helping your family.
Correct.
I can't let you leave without talking about the NAMI Walk, Greater Mississippi Valley. Saturday, September 23rd at Modern Woodman Park. That is a major fundraiser for the organization. Big
event, and you can come as an individual, you can organize a team, you can bring your pets to be part of the experience as well. And so hopefully we'll have a great day to walk the route and to bring a little bit of publicity to the work that NAMI does, both in our community and across the country, to help those who have mental health issues.
Because let's be honest, I mean, so often when it comes to mental health issues, it is kind of still in the shadows. People don't want to talk about it that much. And to have this march, a very public event that's not only a fundraiser, but as you said, it's advocacy as well, really must make a big difference for your organization.
Yeah, that's our mission, is to make sure that no one feels stigmatized just because somebody thinks it's different than an individual suffering from cancer or some other kind of physical challenge.
NAMI once again stands for the National Alliance for on mental illness.
Yes.
I want to get that right. Okay. Dr. Lloyd Kilmer, thank you so much for joining us, a volunteer with NAMI. And once again, that walk is coming up Saturday, September 23rd. It starts at Modern Woodman Park over in downtown Davenport. And we're heading into a fall with a full roster of area events that may interest you, your family, and your friends. Here's Laura Adams. She is out and about.
This is Out and About for September 11th through 17th. I'm Laura Adams. It's festival time, beginning with Brouhaha in LeClaire Park September 16th. Taste more than 100 samples of domestic and imported brews. Over 100 artists from across the nation are part of the Riversance Festival of Fine Art in Lindsay Park September 16th and 17th. The Fall Flemish Fest, honoring the Belgian history of Moline, takes place September 17th. And the annual Buckskinners Rendezvous and Heritage Day celebration is coming to Muscatine September 15th through 17th. Plus, the Celtic Festival and Highland Games is taking place at Centennial Park September 15 and 16, or celebrate Mexican Independence Day at the LULAC QC Fiesta Parade in East Moline on the 17th. It's Hot Rod Drag Week at the Cordova International Raceway, and the River Center hosts the 3rd annual Quad Cities Pollinator Conference the 13th and 14th. The Walk with Travis in Scott County Park the 16th is a 5K walk and silent auction for suicide awareness. Puppies, Yoga, and Beer at Bent, a fundraiser for the Rock Island Arsenal Association of the U.S. Army, and Puppy Jake Foundation takes place the 16th. The Black Box Theater presents the Tony Award-winning drama The Elephant Man at the downtown Moline Theater. The Speakeasy hosts its 3rd annual Laugh Hard Challenge, a stand-up comedian challenge during the month of September, beginning the 9th. And Then There Were None continues at Playcrafters Barn Theater through the 17th. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. In a moment, mentoring business women by the people who know their struggles the best. But first, we head to the community stage at the River Music Experience, and we caught up with Quad City musician Alan Sweet a few months back. Tonight, we feature his song, Bottom On Up.
Power of the Mississippi, oh, so mighty and strong, can tear down your house, tear down your house, can wash away your home. Yeah, I'd like it if you would go there. Then you can see for yourself. These waters, they need a helping hand, and they can't do it all by themselves. No, no, no. There's a great organization that started out of the Quad Cities here called Living Lands and Waters. They clean up the river up and down, not just the Mississippi, but everything else that feeds into the Mississippi River, cleaning up old tires and picking up cars out of the river, all that stuff. Make sure you check out that organization, livinglandsandwaters.org. Ooh, power of the Mississippi, ooh, so mighty and strong, can tear down your house, ooh, can build a happy home. Yeah, I'd like it if you would go there now. Then you can find out. These muddy waters, they need a helping hand. From the bottom on up, yeah. From the bottom on up, ooh, from the bottom on up, 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 from the bottom on up. All right.
Every one of us knows some person who has made us a better worker, a better employee, a better leader. One group in the cities is doing its best to match up-and-coming women with mentors who know a thing or two about breaking the glass ceiling. The program is called Lead Her and has just reached a major milestone. And joining us is Sarah Stevens, Executive Director of Lead Her.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Great.
Because the word is leader.
Yeah.
But you have the H in parentheses because why? It's a perfect way to explain the organization.
It is. Well, first, our founder is the Director of Marketing at Lane & Waterman, and she's great at branding. So
it worked out perfect.
It did, yes. And it really does explain who we are. We're really trying to encourage women to be leaders.
Well, Strike a Match was the plan that you had, and that's your major milestone. Why don't you tell me a little bit of what you did? Because it really is impressive.
Thank you. I thought so too. So we have been in existence for about a year. And about a year ago, they hired me and said, let's see if this idea of mentoring will stick. And so we had about maybe 5 or 6 people who had applied to the program a year ago. So we matched those women with mentors in the community, and then they just got to work, you know, advancing their goals, and then they told people, and
Word
we
of
started
mouth.
exactly, and we started to put structure around the program. And really, it was almost all word of mouth, a little bit of social media. But we spent the last year really building the program and adding structure to it and allowing the matches to tell their story.
Well, and what you wanted was to get at least 100
Correct.
by this fall.
Correct.
And you've crashed through that already.
We did. We hit 122 actually in July. We had 122 in July, which still blows my mind when I say it. You know, I think that's just indicative of the potential that we have here, that this mission really resonates with the people in this community and that they want more of it.
Well, and does it also kind of show you that, oh my gosh, why didn't we start this sooner?
Oh, certainly, yes, absolutely true. Yeah, but you know, I think we have this opportunity now to recognize the need, you know, and then just get after it and crush another goal.
Are you tired of this glass ceiling talk?
I
mean,
do you think
it's still there? Do you think, you know, I mean, there's obviously women don't hold a 50-50 in leadership or in government, as we have learned as well.
Correct.
But sometimes it's because women don't want to have that position or don't want to be.
Yeah.
The key is to have the opportunity and the ability to progress.
Right. So I'm not tired of the talk about the glass ceiling, certainly. I think the talk is important because it keeps it top of mind. I think we've made some huge advances. I think women have made some huge advances from a career and a community perspective. But I think you nailed it. We're not done talking about it yet because the statistics tell the story. You know, women are still making a fraction of their male counterparts, and that's true. So 80% for white women, the number is worse for women of color. We still have women dismally underrepresented in positions of leadership. So there's still opportunity. But I don't think we get there individually. Like, I don't think that I can be so super smart and so super talented and I will shatter it on my own. I think that we do it collectively, and that's kind of what we're creating. You know, we're creating this group of individuals who can kind of create this critical mass and support each other as we take risks that are inevitably going to be required in order to break that ceiling.
Well, we can talk about what you're looking for mentors, but what are you looking for mentees?
That's
I mean, what type of person do you want that you're hoping to help progress?
So originally, our target audience was young professionals, and from the very start, I took applications for women of all ages with diverse professional backgrounds. And I realized that we are never done learning, you know, that we are never done being in a position to learn from each other, and that these women were realizing that. And so I took it back to the board, and the board was wonderful, and they said, our answer is always yes. So who is our target audience now? It's women in the workforce. It's any woman, exactly. Any woman who says, I have this goal or this dream or this fear, can you help me overcome it or meet it or achieve it? And we say yes.
Well, and then do you start with the mentee and then you try to find a mentor?
Yes.
You know, because and I'm sure you have people that want to be mentors, and that works perfect the other way around. But it seems like you really want to match the up-and-coming person with the person that can definitely do the most for them.
Yes, that is exactly what I do. It's actually my favorite part of my job, because there is this sort of magical thing that happens when I find the person. So a quick story, for instance, there was a young woman who applied to the program. She is currently working in a nonprofit. She has a heart for nonprofit, loves it, but she has a passion for publishing. So she comes to me with this application and says, find me somebody who can maybe help me develop my nonprofit skills, but maybe some exposure to publishing. Right, exactly.
Yeah, good luck.
So it took me about 6 weeks, and it took me about 4 levels of connection, and I found the director of development for a local nonprofit who has a 25-year career in publishing. And so I got
Who knew?
Right. So I got to put these 2 women together, and it's not likely they would have found each other. And they met one time, and I heard from the mentee who said, this literally just changed my life, the course, the direction of my career, which is incredible. That's incredible work.
I would think it is, but the other thing is that how do you find the two? I mean, it just seems to be an incredible effort at networking.
It is, exactly that. It is that, and it's not even my own, you know, I think we kind of have circles that surround us. We have a first layer of my network, and then we have a board who has their own network. And now we are 122 mentees and about 95 mentors deep. So now we have a new network of 210 people who know 210 people. So can we get to the person? It might be 3 or 4 layers deep, but we can find the mentor.
You know, last week we talked to the head of the Girl Scouts Association on how they're trying to progress young girls to be stronger women, particularly in STEM education and in leadership roles. Is that almost what you want to see more of? Is the girls need to be kind of on this fast track at an earlier age, and that when they get to the point where they're looking for a professional mentor, they already have a little bit of an idea of where they want to head?
I do. I think it's important that we are empowering women and girls of all ages. You know, I think the sooner that we can, one of the lines I say often is that we socialize our boys to be brave and our girls to be perfect. And part of that, it kind of ties back to that glass ceiling conversation. In order to be able to shatter the glass ceiling or to have equal representation in leadership, women have to be in a position to take risks to do that. And part of taking risks is failing. So I think that the sooner that we can get the message to our girls that it's okay to take a risk and fail, it doesn't mean that it's over, you know, and that really the risking and failing is the part of the discernment that brings you into the thing you want to do in the world anyway.
That's how you grow.
Exactly.
You have a great website that it really explains everything, as well as allows you to register. Head there at any time, right?
Correct, anytime. We take, I'm always looking for mentors because that's, you know, we have mentees that come to us naturally, out of the woodwork, people tell people, but the mentor recruitment piece is probably the most time consuming for me, so we'll take anybody.
Sarah Stevens from Lead Her Quad Cities, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good work too, and congratulations on the milestone. I mean, 1 year in operation, and you're already hitting it all the ballpark.
It's just awesome.
Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Tim.
WQPT is also doing its part to support the military men and women in the cities who are serving our nation. We call it Embracing the Military. And the Paranormal Society is ready to show you what goes bump in the night on Arsenal Island. You can make your reservations now for the Quarters 1 Ghost Hunters Dinner Tour. It's coming up Thursday, September 28th. Starts with a prime rib and chicken buffet. You can't go wrong with that. It's at the Arsenal Island Clubhouse. Then it's followed by a ghostly tour of Quarters 1. You can contact the clubhouse to make your reservations. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us. We talk about the issues on the cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.